this one. And welcome back to the Off the Clock Show. Joined again with Shawn Gervais from OrbisX, as well as Marshall from the Pints of Polishing Podcast and Hyper Clean Car Care Products. How you doing, man?
Doing well, sir. Thank you very much.
Stuff. Good stuff. Anything interesting cooking up in the lab? Always. All right. Fair. Hey.
Water spot remover samples went out.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Because I've got to make sure,
That's
water spots and water, everybody, we joke heavy about, well, heat's not the way it is heat, right? Like, everybody says that their temperature and their heat and their weather, right? Everything is always, well, ours is worse than yours.
Yeah.
When it comes to water spots, you don't know.
Yeah.
Water's weird. Water, the minerals in water.
It's true. It's funny you say that, actually, because we noticed a change. We can't pinpoint it exactly, but we noticed a change when our city changed the water processing plant that they had. They were building a brand new one. When they finished it, however they were, treating the water or whatever, the results were different. Like the products, especially because we were filling up bottles too. We'd have concentrates, fill up bottles and stuff, and we noticed there was a difference in certain things. So we had to adjust. I don't know what that machine's called, but we have one of those big, with the drums, and yeah, we don't really use it much now, but fuck, what the hell's that thing called? Oh my god, I can't remember. But it does the equations for us. Jesus, I'm blanking on the name. Whatever it is. Anyways, but yeah, we noticed back then, this is going back now like 5 years. Yeah, I think 5 years. When they changed it, things changed, and then that machine just kind of sits in the corner and collects dust now. But it didn't. It's supposed to make life easier. Sometimes, not all things are designed for. We found it was just easier, just either buying ready-made, ready to go, or just mixing it yourself for certain things. It was just
So we've got to send it, to different types of people with different, whether it's automotive, marine, aviation, everything, right? This part of the country to that part of the country.
Damn.
So
how do you pressure test something like that? Like, how do you?
That's how we test it. So I
just
just
send it
started
out?
that with
Oh,
a couple of people I know that specifically have told me, hey, I work with water, they're heavy in their area, and then send it out to marine guys, right? We'll send it out across into got to make sure that covers all spectrum. Like, that's what makes it, we joke and we laugh about how people always say that, but at the same time, it is what makes it difficult when you're doing products, because you got to make it uniform.
And
but at the same time, you can't. Like, stuff that happens with my partner Nick in Vegas, he doesn't have humidity. We have humidity here. Somebody in Florida is going to go, y'all don't have humidity, we have humidity, right? Like Louisiana, like, I get it. Like, everybody's going to say so, but heat, humidity, the amount of cold, all that stuff does play variable on products. So I try and make sure we get them tested in all the extreme conditions.
Yeah, that's one thing I would say, and that's amazing, by the way, that you do that. And I would say that that's an amazing thing about having a shop, is that, like, because I know even us, we don't do mobile detailing, but if we did, it would be a lot harder, I think, to maintain a consistent quality control, because products are going to react differently in October than they are in July, and so on and so forth, and then including my own staff. But anyway,
you're right. I mean, this call I had last week was from a guy that was experiencing some problems with glass cleaner. He's like, I'm a mobile guy and it's hot, and I go, so you haven't had the problems until right now where it's really hot? Yeah. Okay, man, like, you're going to have to realize that there's a variable here, and that variable is heat. Like, so you need to cool off your window. Like, it doesn't matter whose glass cleaner you use. You spray it on a really, really hot glass, you're going to fight it. Like,
it's true, because it's like a chemical reaction at that point. It's
well, and it dries so fast. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Right, like, it's so hot it dries. So I mean, like I said, it doesn't matter whose. I remember always fighting. If it was anywhere warm and that sun was in it, it didn't matter what I used. I'd be working and wiping and doing, but it didn't, like, it is very difficult to clean glass in the heat. especially in direct sun. It's very difficult.
True. It's funny, I had, so we're renovating our Airbnb and we put this window in between the bathroom and the kitchen because there's no window in the bathroom. So we wanted to add natural light from the kitchen. But of course, you don't want people using the bathroom and there's just a window there. That's no good because it's floor to ceiling. And so I tinted it. Well, not tint, but I put frosted film on it. And I went the first day and I was like, I've done windows 1,000 times and it's flat glass. It's a piece of cake. You don't have to shrink it there's nothing. It's easy work. But a few days before that, one of the electricians was in and he doesn't like it when it's super cool when he's working. I don't know, he likes it where it's a little warmer, so he turned off our AC. A couple days had gone by. I show up to the house now and it's piping hot and I go and I spray down the window and then I go and I start installing at the top. By the time I get down towards the bottom, I'm like, what the hell's going on here? All the water had just evaporated. It was crazy how fast it happened. And I was like, oh. And so I was struggling with it. And I said, you know what? Just come back when it's cooler. So it was a cling, so I'm like, whatever. I just turned the temperature down on the AC, waited a couple days, went back, perfect install. But it's one of those things where you got to make adjustments at times for the elements, really. Like it's...
You have to.
Yeah, like I noticed even at our shop, we have one of two conditions that happens. Summertime, it gets really hot, but we open the garage door usually. And that actually causes more problems than not because customers just start driving in. Like, no. Like, you bring the car back out, you got to stay out there. Anyway, we open the garage, but then it lets in a lot of that moisture at the same time. So it's a much different environment, especially when, if the floors are wet in the wash bay, things like that. But then in the wintertime, it's super dry because it's just that forced air coming in and there's no moisture in the air, but it's super hot because of the forced air. So but you can still maintain it a lot better than outdoors, right? So that's an advantage, I think, of having a shop. But if I was mobile, like we do windshields mobile and we have to adjust our process a bit and especially the instructions for the customer because usually, if it's done in the shop and it's a certain time of year, it's like, oh yeah, no problem. 24 hours from now, pull off the tape, you're good to go. If your car is going to be sitting outside in the hot sun and it's just baking there and it was like that before you brought it to us, wait at least 3 days before you pull the tape off, because we've had people, they pull it off too early and then it pulls out some of the silicone or glue or whatever. Yeah, you got to make adjustments. But man, that's interesting though. I like that where it's like, and that's one of those things, thorough testing and you end up with a better product. But you're right, it can't be universal for every possible scenario, right? But the goal I think is close.
You got to try. You got to try and umbrella everything, but you just know that sometimes there needs to be some local workarounds.
Yeah. Some local workarounds. I like that. Awesome. So.
Let's get into it. Yeah, we've got a post we got to talk about.
Yeah, let's dive into it. So we had a guy post in the group, and he was. It's pretty interesting. It's a path he's on. I was going to say crossroads, but it's not really a crossroads in my opinion. But anyway, he posted. So I'll share.
And thanks for the post, right? Like he 100%. Listens. He basically is like, listen, I'm ready for the roast. No, I'm joking. Not going to be a roast, but we have gotten into some of these where we get after people. He's going like, listen, I'm all in. Put me on that.
He sees the greater good. He sees the fact that this is going to be beneficial one way or the other. It's valuable information. That's what he's after, and what a great place to seek it out.
Absolutely. So we appreciate it. It's and that's a great place to be in life. I think when you're questioning, you're looking for answers, and you're really starting to go, hey, it's okay if I reach out and put myself out there because I know that I know I'll get an answer if I go to the roast.
Yeah. It's true, absolutely. So I have the post here. I could read it for those that haven't seen it.
Yeah, let's do.
All right, so it says, good morning all. First off, I want to say thank you to OrbisX and community. And he said that loud. I was like, yeah, community. And for being awesome and intuitive, but now things have changed. I've been running my mobile detailing business for the past 2 years in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, with 3 years of detailing experience in total. So first off, hats off, 3-year mark, good job. And in Canada too, it's no joke to do mobile detailing in Canada. But so business has been kind of slow this year, mainly because I hadn't tried very hard after transitioning into full-time detailing, quitting my job and totally overloading myself with bills and a truck that inflated my overhead like crazy, and I'm to the point of selling it. Recently, I've been given the opportunity of a lifetime, and I'm looking for people who've had experience or some insight or things on how things may pan out, things to look out for, and just general advice. I went to clean my truck at a self-serve wand wash and was greeted by the brand new owners who took over 3 days ago. They said it was a godsend for him to be there because an hour prior they had been searching for auto detailers in the area and they hadn't come across the right one at the right moment. They have about 5 bays and that are self-serve, and they've got one other bay that isn't being used at all. We talked about joining forces to where they would call me if any people are interested in getting details. Now jumping to today, in 1 hour, so unfortunately this is going to air after this, but in 1 hour I will be presenting a sort of business proposal and a breakdown of what my costs are and what I do as a mobile detailer and how I can be of value to them. But I want to know, and I'll summarize some of it, but what I want to know is as follows. Because they are so new and so am I, what POS systems work best for frictionless, love the podcast by the way, transactions between customers and staff? Is this a good idea for me to get into now that my business is slowing down? Is there anything to look out for when signing a formal contract if they go that way? I will need employees now, and how? Should I hire within the family and give them opportunities and take them under my wing? I have a business account for detailing supplies and I have OrbisX to help with inventory. How does it all work? I know that I'll have to spend money to make money. What's the most important thing to spend money on, if not equipment or supplies? So many questions, but looking forward to everyone's replies. So that was a very in-depth post too. I think that one of the most important things is covering a lot of the scenario. A lot of people, I think, don't like to be vulnerable. Right?
Hold on, sorry. I didn't interrupt you earlier because I was just being very patient.
Fair.
Carl, I will not roast you beyond this next statement. Okay? But I do got to chat with you, bro. We got to chat about that truck.
Yeah.
2 years in business, third year detailing, and he's got some outlandish truck payment. He just had to have it. It looked great. Probably was able to, I don't know, his status with single or married or divorced or whatever. But around these parts, you got a nice truck, you usually have a nice lady sitting next to you. Whether it's your girlfriend or it's your wife. So that costs money too.
Yeah.
We're 2 years in business. You don't get into these problems if you got an extra $800 laying around, plus insurance and plus all the amenities of what you're going to do with that truck and all the stuff you're going to do. So what's that, $1,200-$1,500? Maybe some people are like, that's chump change. I'm spending $2,000. Okay, fine. In your neck of the woods, you're going to spend an extra $2,000 and you're 2 years in business.
Yeah.
That was an easy one to go after off the top.
Yeah, that's true. One thing to do. See, me, I don't know. Maybe I'm just I don't know. I don't focus on my expenses very often. I just go full tilt revenue, just full tilt. But that being said,
you were groomed,
if I think
Shawn.
back,
We got to remember that.
Yeah.
Got to remember you were groomed. Most people, and I bet you Carl, his mom and dad weren't like your mom and dad.
Yeah,
so we just got to remember that too.
I was definitely groomed for business.
I'm very big on that. Way you were raised, things that you learned from your parents play out in business later in life.
That's true. And if I think back to my first businesses, actually, you know what? Even my businesses now, like even with Auto World, we had capital that we could have just pumped into it and done all kinds of crazy stuff from day one. And we said, no, we bootstrap it, and it should be able to survive on its own. Because if there's as big a need as we've identified in the area for this service, it should be able to, with a minimal investment initially. But
sure, but then you didn't go dump truck payment on top of that.
Yeah.
Business.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, because it was, even when we started doing windshields, we just subcontracted it out because that way we didn't have to pick up a van to go get the windshield. So yeah, no, okay. If I look back at it, that's a very, very valid point. That's a good place to start, right?
Well, and because I see it in so many detailers, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it started here. It's not just people I see online. I mean, any of them. It's like as soon as they start making a little cheddar, and it's because we're in the car business.
Boom.
Let's understand.
We love cars.
You should love cars if you're a detailer. You should. People always laughed at me that I didn't, I don't know makes, I don't know models. I don't really know anything about cars. I don't. Well, I'll go back and say that wasn't how I was raised, right? Like, I wasn't raised around having to know because my dad didn't have the patience to teach me. A true car guy who fixed his own stuff never would have patience for then a son to learn. That's not how those men operated back in the day. It's just not the way it happened.
Yeah,
so
I grew up the same way.
My favorite thing was always what my dad and I would do was would look at cars as we were driving, and he'd tell me about makes and models of them. That's in my blood. That's what I do now. I point out cars as I'm driving, right, to people in my, that are in the car with me. Pointing out cars to them, talking about but I don't know the engine. I don't know how many liters this has. I don't know I don't know that stuff. I never cared to learn it. So a lot of people would say I wasn't a car guy. And most detailers, it actually becomes, it's a great avenue, which we've talked about. Go to the car shows, talk to local car communities. It's an amazing point in marketing to use. The hang up is every young car guy, everybody knows, what do, Shawn? They spend way too much money on their cars. They do. True good car guy is going to blow way too much money on their cars because that's what they love. If you're a young guy in business, that's the worst thing you can do. It's the worst thing you can do.
When I met my wife, do you know what we were driving? A Toyota Echo. That's not even a joke, man. It looked like a little egg rolling down the road. We had that for the first few years of our daughter's life. After that, we got the Chrysler 300, and it was because it was a nice, solid car that I wanted something that if my wife was driving and she got into an accident, I knew it was going to be pretty solid and she wouldn't be, paraplegic or something. So I didn't want her in a tiny little Mazda 3 or something like that. But it was a nice, solid car, and we bought it used, got a good deal.
Let that Mazda go. Keep going.
Every time I should have said Toyota. Every time I say Mazda, I don't even know how. Mazda. There we go. That's Mazda. It sounds strange to me. The Mazda. The Mazda. Mazda. What the hell is it? Oh yeah. So we got the Chrysler 300, but we always bought cars that it was going to be 5% of our income. That's it. It was never going to be something that maxed us out, and we spent money even now, most of the money we spend is reinvested into businesses or some sort of opportunity. We don't really buy fancy clothes. We don't really spend money on that kind of stuff. We pour money into properties, something that's we'll get the money back eventually. It's just putting it in a savings account or something we can rent out, things like that. I mean, sure, right now I have a Range Rover that's probably a pretty stupid car to drive if you're looking to save money. But reality is it's a small percentage of our income. So it doesn't matter. Plus, when you get to a certain level, there's tax benefits as well for certain vehicle types. So for me, anything over 6,000 pounds, that's what I needed. And at the same time, key man insurance, I have to make sure that I stay alive for the corporation and so on and so forth. So there's different reasons people get certain vehicles. My business partner, Nick, absolutely loves cars. And he is that car guy that knows everything about the inner workings of the engine on that one versus that one. It's amazing what he knows about cars. He loves cars. But even him, he was like, well, I don't want to keep buying these cars and it's just an expense, so start a dealership. And now he just drives whatever, but everything he drives is for sale. So he'll drive something and then 3 months later, boom, it's gone. And he's in something else. So he gets to drive all these cars he likes, but he never really incurs an expense for them, if that makes any sense. So there's ways to do stuff in life, but back to this point, I think you're right. Cutting the expense side of things, especially while slow, is a good place to start. And then, because you need a vehicle for work if you're doing mobile detailing, obviously. Now, I will say this, though. He is working in Alberta. And Alberta has some really strange, unique weather. So
I'm sure
a used
Ford
truck.
Transit will work just fine in Alberta.
That is true. That is true. There's people using them right now, guarantee it. Yeah, and that is a good point. So there's alternative options, I would say for sure, and that's something to investigate as a good starting point. And then on the other side is for me go full tilt on revenue, 100%. But I think that from what I got from his post, and this is why I was avoiding the crossroads when I almost mentioned it earlier, is that it seemed like he was looking at it as a crossroads. Like I'm going to close this side of my business and go full force with this one, where he was wondering like what happens if things don't work out with them or something.
So I'm glad you mentioned that. The second part of my roast,
Yeah.
right, there was the statement, and I was like, wait, I know I have one. And that, you mentioned he's posted this 1 hour before, and he's listing it as a crossroads.
Yeah.
How's it a crossroads if your business has been in trouble, right? He just said that, like, but I haven't put anything into it. I really have just basically, he's just been hanging out, but now he's at a crossroads, and in an hour he's got to present a business plan. Like, this stuff doesn't all add up. Like, it's starting to sound a little bit. I don't know. Maybe he thought he was doing more than he was.
I can see that. The thing
you
that
know, is
worries
it
me,
such a big deal that he's going there? Like, why is that a crossroads and not a bridge? Like, like there's some stuff that just doesn't make sense. Like anyway, that was my only part of. I didn't want to go negative at him, right? Like,
no,
I'm
for
so
sure,
glad
yeah.
that he made the post, but I just I mean,
You do have to
you
point out
got
some
to you
things,
got to
though.
talk. I had to talk
Yeah.
about those things, like
100%.
because they're just too glaring, too glaring. I mean, the
Yeah.
truck is easy, but then the way he words some things, and then the way some stuff gets laid out, you just go,
Yeah, because for me, what I see, I see that this isn't a crossroads. It's just expanding your channel. It's one more area that your funnel's going to be filled. So I actually think.
why do you think it would be a crossroads? You said this before to me, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's the
seems like
car
a
wash, isn't it?
crossroads. When I hear people say something like "I came across the deal of a lifetime" or "the opportunity of a lifetime," to me, it's I'm going to take this, but it means that I'm leaving that. That's what it seems like to me, where someone's trying to make that decision. And based on everything I was reading, where, especially when, like, put it this way, I've got my shop, and let's say we're working with some dealerships now, and we take on another dealership. I'm just like, okay, great. That's just another branch on the tree. Or I guess another funnel that's just being added to our business, right? I'm not too dependent on them, so I'm not really giving it too much thought in this sense. Like, this seems where it's more, I'm not sure what to do, and if this doesn't work out, I guess maybe I'm closing my doors or something. It seems like he's
Good
just
point.
kind of.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Because if he goes over there, he's now anchored, because I guess wasn't he going to start like one day or something, and then like add in, I think that's what it was, right? Like,
in the one empty bay, and then yeah.
no, sir. We talked about joining first. Where would call me? Oh, would call me if any people are interested. Oh,
Right there. The one quick thing I wanted to say is
why is that a crossroads? The people are only going to call if they're interested.
If they're interested, yeah. But because this is the opportunity of a lifetime, that I'm now going to be relying on them to provide me, because they're obviously picking it up. Like, yeah, we were just looking for a local detailer. This is perfect timing, because they want to lock in somebody, so they have that option. They can now resell it to, because how many people asked for it? Did 100? Did 2? Who knows? They're going to sell it a certain way.
That's a great point.
But if you're thinking like, oh, maybe I'm going to go full tilt into this, and then now you're neglecting the business that you just already acknowledged you were already neglecting. That to me is where the crossroads comes in. And so I feel it's always dangerous territory where it's like, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. I tend not to look at things like that, because when I do, I've created that crossroads in my brain. And I'm now like, if this doesn't work, then everything's just gone to shit. And so for me, it's like, no. How can you build your business. That's where you should focus on. And then they're just a funnel to feed you in. And one thing I would do is ask them, well, listen, instead of me just waiting for your customers to maybe do this, can I also just detail cars there? So I'm not traveling all over the place. People can just bring their car there. I got the equipment, everything there, boom, boom, boom. And so it's kind of your mobile shop in a way.
And I guess I was thinking he was going to, I guess maybe I just thought he was doing it because that's what I guess I thought it would do, is go there one day a week to start out. And you're right.
Yeah.
Then let me come here on a whatever, to ask them. And here's what, let's just say in general, should a detailer, and here's the other part of that crossroads, right? Like detailers at car washes.
Do they work with the enemy?
Right. There's that part of the crossroads too, which is what we were joking about offline. My first, when I started selling Carbride as a distributor, my first account was Nelson Nissan. Nelson Mazda. It was Nelson Mazda. They later bought the Nissan store. Apologies. But Nelson Mazda down on Memorial. And that was my first account that I won. Like, you don't go into those accounts when they're not using somebody. You go in and you have to take the competitor out. Like, yeah, that was an interesting part of life. They later bought a car wash and put the dealership detail shop at the car wash.
So you've got a dealership, a detail, and car wash all in one.
Trifecta of the worst you could ever imagine, right? Like, and the manager, he didn't last too long because he had to keep working on the car wash. And he was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm supposed to be detailing cars. This is the same account. If anybody remembers, some of the times I've joked about the detailers that told me that when you clay bar a vehicle, you're removing microns of clear coat.
Yeah.
And I was like, listen, I'm not that experienced. You're my first account, but I've been detailing for quite a while. On that car wash, just right down over here. Who told you that? Oh, well, this guy on YouTube, I was watching that. And this is back when we used to laugh at people who watch stuff on YouTube. We used to laugh at them, right? You can remember, and we'll have a discussion, I think, later, another episode about, some other stuff. But it was like, things that people used to talk about they learned off of YouTube, and we would laugh at them. And this was the account that I would laugh at. But to have a dealership own a detail shop at a car wash was, it was a unicorn. There was no doubt. There was no doubt a unicorn.
Man, I'm thinking of ours because our dealership has a wash bay, and we do detailing there, stuff like that. But if we're doing something like ceramic coating, or we're doing any other coating like PPF, things like that, we send it down the road because we're only 4 kilometers. Was that like 2.5 miles away from each other? So we send it down to Auto World, and then vice versa. If we take customers that are there, hey, while you're waiting, your car's 10 years old. If you've ever been considering an upgrade, we'll take the pictures, send it to our sales manager, head on down the road, and stuff like that. We go back and forth, but the only piece we're missing is the self-serve car wash. If we add that, then we'll be.
So the thing is, I love the idea actually of a detail shop at a car wash. My car wash was the first flex serve in Oklahoma, which meant you could go through the tunnel, and then if you wanted us, which we had, a little wash and vac service, you could wash it and then pull it around. We'd vac it and wipe it down, right? Or we'd do full details with buff polish, all that stuff, right? Like, and it was a flex. You had the option. So the other thing that, you got a captive audience. I think one of the most interesting, and I won't go too far into it, but one of the most interesting Facebooker poster guys, right? Like one of these people that nonstop post on Facebook. He tells a story, and I realize why he tells the story, and he's so excited now about the transition and to where he's going. And I get all that. I can appreciate it all. I think the best story that he never told, ever told, was that he had a detail shop at a self-serve car wash.
Oh, shoot.
He's now moved into his own building and built his own thing, and it's celebrating all that, and I'd love it. It is one. It's awesome. The best story that he never told was that all the while, the whole time that he was building, he had a little shop at a self-serve car wash, and so all the people that were out there washing, then they would see, and then it's a captive audience. I love the idea. I think it's a great path. It shows clearly how if as he states in some of his posts, if you're not so highly educated, if you just get into something, right, go put up at a car wash. It's a great place. 100%. Captive audience, and to me that's the whole genius of his whole business. And you go, off the start, the genius idea, and what makes him successful, was at a self-serve car wash. So I'm gonna definitely tell Carl, go. I'd say don't wait for them to call customers. You tell them I'm gonna be there. And Carl, since you've just said, Carl, that you're slow, I'm gonna suggest, Carl, that since you're spending time at that car wash washing your own truck, interesting. I'm not going to go into that.
Yeah, fair.
But that means you have free time, Carl. That means that you can then go put your truck around the corner and you can put on one of your corporate shirts and you can go hustle. You don't have enough customers, you just stated. You're in trouble. Now's the time. The time's not next week. The time is now. The time's today. Go to that wash and have something ready for people. Now, here's the interesting part. Since he listens, how do you market?
I actually have some ideas there too, because I agree. I love it, and I think it's genius. I think it's the perfect audience for him. For any detailer, really, to be there. If I was mobile, 100%. That's a genius idea. We might even find a way to get more involved with some of the self-serves near us. Because it is, even if it's just one day a week, we do some pop-up thing there. But I agree, I think the opportunity isn't so much in what they may or may not bring you. I think the opportunity is in you pushing the needle. And I think the opportunity really of the lifetime is the fact that you're still invigorated and thinking about your business. That's what I think the opportunity of the lifetime is that you're looking at ways you can improve your business. But I think you need to just realize that it's your business that's going to need the work to push and to hustle. And marketing to those people, sure, if they have some people that inquire, but the amount of effort that they're going to put into marketing you is going to be substantially less than you might think. And even if they start off strong, it'll just gradually decrease and they're going to not push it as much. It's just what happens. So you've got to be actively involved in that marketing side. One of the best things I think you could do is find a way where, first off, start at the ground level and identify where you're at. Identify how many customers live around there. What are the top employers that are nearby, so on and so forth. Like, where are people going to shop, so on and so forth. Like, kind of try and identify who is around there, and then I would figure out how to get some sort of maintenance stuff going on. That's where I think the big ticket would be, in a partnership kind of way, because I think there's going to be people, Marshall, I don't know if you agree, but there's going to be people that do want to do the self-serve, but also want to have someone do it for me. But it's not an either or in most cases. It's just this week I'm going to do that, and next week I'm going to do this, and so on and so forth. That same customer isn't going to be like, oh, well, you're going to wash my car for me. Perfect. I'm never using a self-serve again. It's not going to happen. And there's not going to be the people that say, wow, I'm only going to ever do self-serve and I'm never going to have someone else touch my vehicle. That's not going to happen either. So you want to find that sweet spot where you've got some sort of packages built in where you can actually make some connection, a deeper connection with that self-serve, either by offering a combination package where it's maintenance plus self-serve or something like that. I would try and embed myself a little more with them so that you've both got skin in the game in a way. But if it's coming across like, oh yeah, I don't really have work, so whatever you can throw me, I'll take it, kind of thing, they're gonna be like, sure, yeah, sounds good, but it's gonna be few and far between. They're busy promoting their business, right? And they just see you as kind of an add-on to fill a void that maybe some of their customers have been asked about, because the last thing a business owner wants to say to a customer is, no, don't have a solution for you, so they want to, actually, you know what? Yeah, we've been looking for a mobile detailer. We're going to get someone here, so keep doing the self-serve, but we've been looking. That's the approach they're going to take, if someone asks about it. And so when they're asked about that and then you come along, they're like, oh, perfect, match made in heaven. But I would try and find out some more details about that. And definitely, you're going the right route, though, by getting some sort of plan put in place, contracts, all that kind of stuff. You did ask about contracts, and I think 100% they'll probably want something in place, I imagine. I personally, I wouldn't do it on just a handshake necessarily. I would try and dictate it more myself. Like Marshall said, I would say, this day and this day, I'm going to be here. That extra bay that's not being used, that's now in use on those days. And I would also like access to it on other days that I might, pop up as well. I might find that Fridays are better. I might be here 3 days a week. I would try and dominate and control that bay. That becomes your bay.
Free rent.
Absolutely. Like it's, man. And if they're looking at it as wasted space. They're looking at it as like, right now it's doing 0. How can we get this? And they might have run the numbers and maybe they're at like enough capacity with the other 5 that 6th bay is just kind of, we don't have enough customers to use it up, or whatever the case is. Maybe there's no machinery in there. I have no idea what the situation is, but I would try and dominate that bay. That's your bay now.
And
Take
listeners,
a picture of it, put it above your bed. That's your fucking bay.
Listeners, I guarantee you find, if you have a self-serve wash in your area, you'll find that not every one of their bays is at full operational all the time.
100%.
There's if you're needing work, if you're like Carl, and he doesn't have enough customers, his business isn't what it once was, go find a car wash, a self-serve car wash, and find out who that owner is, and don't stop when you can't figure it out. They are usually very difficult to find. Very difficult. I used to try and make sales calls on them to sell chemicals to. Trust me, extremely difficult to get a hold of.
Yeah.
But once you do, most of them are really nice people. They're really good dudes, They most of them have been around, or they have some type of business to them, right? Like, it sounds like these 2 new owners, probably this isn't their only business. They're probably bought it as, a lot of people buy these as quote unquote investments, right? Where they can just kind of work on them a little, but it brings in cash. That's what a lot of people use these for.
They don't require owner on premises. So
they don't require owner on premises. Good point.
Yeah.
So having a detailer there brings some awareness, right? And there's some stuff there's some things that you can bring to the table if you meet the owner, some reasons for you to be there, because I guarantee you he has some pain points. Some of those pain points are customers needing things. Hey, and if you're somebody that has a little handy with the wrench, you can fix some hoses every once in a while. They love maintenance men. Love them because they don't have them.
Yeah, it's true. And now you become indispensable, and you're the guy. And if you find 2 or 3,
you can actually get paid to do that, and then have free rent of using one of the bays. Like,
it's the best scenario ever, really. And I think that's definitely the route I would go. Yeah, that's your bay now. That's 100%. It's not in use, and I got plans for it, and that way you could. And then the conversation switches, I think, because he did ask about like what's the kind of the long-term plan, like any ideas, and I was thinking about that a little bit prior to the episode, and I think long-term plan, don't get into that too much because you obviously have a lot of initial preliminary work to do, but long-term plan would be you become part of the marketing for that ecosystem. So you become the guy that's out there organizing like a car meetup, or you become the guy organizing something for like Jeep fanatics, or who knows what it is, different things that take place there. And then while you're going to be detailing and offering those services or explaining them, and you have a tent and different vendors or whatever it is, that's I think the long-term plan is the car wash owners that I've met before, they're not heavily involved in marketing in that capacity. It's more just these are memberships, these are subscriptions. That's how they work. That they're pushing that kind of stuff a lot, but not necessarily things out there in the community. That's what it's like here, anyways. And so working with them in a way that can draw in that aspect of things, that's where you could add a lot of value as well. So it's similar to kind of fixing hoses. You're fixing other pain points within the business that, hey, not only am I gonna dominate that little zone there and bring in people, and I'm gonna take care of your existing customer base, but I can also assist with getting some marketing done.
Help take out the trash. You tell them that you'll empty the trash for them.
That's true.
Fuck, man, you're hired. Like,
yeah, it's true. It's as weird as that might sound. It's true because, like I said, a lot of these are the type of business where people buy as an investment or started as an investment. It's usually not owned or on premises. It's similar to laundromats, things like that, where it's because even my wife and I, we've looked at different laundromats. We've looked at car washes, things like that, where okay, we got a lot of other stuff going on, but if we have something where we can, have a good turnover, but minimal involvement, perfect. That's what we want. And it doesn't have to be slammed to the nuts. Like, it doesn't have to be, all the bays are just pumped in things. It's not how AutoWorld is. AutoWorld's a lot different in how it operates because the way it is. But yeah, car washes, they're very big on, like, that's why they do the self-serve, the automated thing. You have one or two attendants, that's it. So yeah, 100%.
Now, here's the idea. Once you're there, let's say you pick Friday, okay?
Yeah.
Here's what I knew most people are going to do. They'll probably pull up, put all their stuff out.
Yeah.
Probably isn't in like a cabinet. Maybe it's in Tupperware boxes type of thing, Rubbermaid boxes, well, that was me, so don't.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it works,
My towels still are in a laundry bag. That's still the way I operate today. It's the way I used to operate. I'd put them in, sometimes I'd put them in trash bags. Like, that's mobile detailers, and especially back then, we weren't as sophisticated in the way it is now. Yeah. But mobile detailers, even now, none of them are always so well put together. I love the people whose vans, they open them up and like everything is just, and you go, wow, like that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Not everybody else is that way, and most of us can come across. Remember that guy we did? There was that post, right? And he was a mobile detailer, and he had stuff laid out all up. I just picture that. Picture that dumping out at a car wash, and you go, yeah, I can't do that. So they're gonna have to work on how they set up stuff. I'd definitely probably get some shelving that you 100%. Could, move and put. You are gonna have to spend some money to make sure everything's presentable. And you better, Carl, you better have corporate shirts. You better.
Oh, that's 100% requirement.
Yeah.
That's not even 100%. And something big on the back, because that's the part people are going to see a lot as well if you're working on a vehicle. So big logo, phone number, something like that. A lot of people ignore the back.
Maybe one of those, something like that. Something.
A-frame signs. Yeah.
Detail now available. Something. Anything you could put up.
100%.
That's
what? Real quick on that note, because I saw this once and I was like, genius. Buy some bicycle lights and put them on top of the A-frame sign. The ones that flash red. You can get them cheap on Amazon. They're like $20. You get a 2-pack and put one face in each direction and they just flash red. Because you see those signs all the time. There's nothing really to draw the eyes in. But if I'm pulling into a self-serve car wash and there's this sign over there flashing, guess where my eyes are going? You know what I mean? I'm looking straight over there.
Don't vomit on the A-frame.
Yeah.
Don't vomit on the A-frame. Detailing now available.
Very simple.
Maybe with a QR code, right?
Exactly. Boom.
So speaking of that, Carl, I clicked on your profile because I wanted to kind of study some of the stuff that you did. He lists 2 links, I think, in his profile to schedule now. Both were 404 not findable.
Oh, dang.
So that's what made me remember when I was like, okay, this is the time for that QR code, right? Like, hey, book now. something like that. And it reminded me, hey, Carl, you have that. I did find the actual link that worked to the OrbisX page, the landing page, that gathered all the information. So I did find it. But yeah, Carl, you need to check on that. So here's you've got the people that are there. And here's the thing that I'm still thinking marketing, all right, Carl, and anybody else. This is why I wanted to say earlier about that guy that detailed out of a car wash. Anybody that's a mobile detailer that has self-serve car washes in their town or area, you need to figure that out and figure out a time and place that you can be there every day. You really should. And if you go, hey, I'm too busy, okay, well, hire somebody to be there.
Yeah, someone's got to be
there. It is a great avenue to gain customers. Now, there's people that are there that will use your service, but here's the other aspect that I want. If you're a mobile detailer, the reason why I want you to think about this is so many mobile detailers, and I mean so many, I think probably every one of them. Every one of them would say the level for mobile detailing, 99% of them, okay, whatever, would say every time in mobile detailing you get up to the point, then you go get a shop. Nick, Mildred, well, he had a shop. Nick has a shop. I'm just trying to think of, I don't know anybody that's just mobile and is only mobile and can do it for a long period of time.
Yeah.
So there's so many detailers that are mobile that will go, hey, I want to get to the point where I can get to a shop. If you're that guy or gal, this is your next step off, right? This is not a crossing point. This is a bridge. This is a way to get you into some covering, to get you I think some part that people don't realize with having a location, what you can appreciate is I don't have to drive around that day. This day I can just be here and I can just focus on fill in the blank. So if you get there and you don't have customers, guess what? You get to focus on how to get customers. And that's fine. Schedule that off that you're there every Thursday. And until you figure out how to get customers, you're there every Thursday figuring out how to get customers. 100%. One thing that I think you ought to think about is if I've got now a location, a spot on Thursdays at this at this car wash, maybe I'm not just thinking about the people that are there. Maybe I'm thinking about what is around.
100%.
And one idea that pops in my head that I wonder if you could take advantage of is a bar. It's something that we've never talked about, and I don't know why I thought about it, but I just go, man, I guess because I was thinking about car washes, and I'm like, man, almost at every car wash I know around here, what is around? There's fast food, not a good spot. I go, almost every car wash I know has, a restaurant maybe, definitely, but what could you do? And it was a bar. It's like, man, if people knew that while they could just go sit and do fill in the blank, for this was drinking, sit and drink and have some fun on my car or bike. Yeah. If you could drive a bike, you could, you could take it there. If you dodge a wrench, what could you do? You could dodge a ball. If you had somebody that was at a bar, we talked about golf courses, right? Anything that's around that car wash where people are going to be for an hour or two, hair salons, nail salons, a lot of times they're by car washes. Yeah. So any of those type of places where somebody's going to be, you could go for a massage and at the end of the day, get a happy massage, right? Whatever you need to work out and trade, you do you.
15 minutes to
But right now you have a location, in a sense, that you can start to branch out to other places that are around there, 100%. Which mobile detailers aren't used to this type of marketing. And this is a different form of guerrilla marketing. And you go that is around to the places, and then you have some way of getting their customers to come over, or probably you drive their vehicle while they're getting their nails done, hair done, or whatever, a rub and tug. then you can be cleaning their car at the car wash and then drive it back.
100%. Yeah, and it's as simple as you drive over there. They could book online. You drive over there, drop your car, take their car, drive over there, still doing their thing. I agree. That's something a lot of mobile detailers don't know because, I started in a shop. So that's all we did. We went to, there's a barber shop, grocery store. We hit up all these things. The coffee shop was a big one for us. In talks with him, Nero Cafe, we said, listen, what's one of your pain points? And he said, well, we serve lunch, hot lunch, but a lot of people come here just to have a quick meeting, they get a coffee, and then they're gone. And he said, it takes a lot of $3 coffees to pay your rent. He said, I want people to get the lunches more. So we said, okay, perfect. So give us some free coffees, give them to us at cost, but we'll give them away free so that people, because we didn't have a waiting room in the beginning, so we were sending people across the street to go over there. All of a sudden, they're buying his hot lunches because now they've got an hour and a half, 2 hours to kill. So they're like, well, you have a coffee, but maybe, let me get a sandwich. I'll take a sandwich too or something. They get some stuff. And he said that his sales actually went up dramatically because we were sending people over there. So you'd be amazed. People want to, you might be thinking, oh, a bar, why would they want to work? Listen, if someone knows my car is going to be worked on for, 3 hours, something like that, they're going to have a few more drinks instead. They're going to maybe just order some food and this and that. They're not in a rush because they're waiting for you to finish, right? And so it's actually more beneficial for the bar to work with somebody, and depending on the approach that you take, so if that's the approach you target them with and you say, hey, listen, I was wondering if the manager's around, hey, listen, I'm about to do this over there, and what we were thinking to do is have some of your patrons stay longer. Is that of interest to you? Like, the longer they're here, the more they drink, the more they eat, that kind of stuff. So going with that kind of approach, I think, is beneficial. And you do similar type things around other places. So you go to the nail salon, you say, hey, listen, we're going to be promoting it, saying like, these are the businesses around us. If you're familiar with them, great, we can wash your car while you're getting that done. Or if you're not, maybe next time you get your nails done, why don't you kill 2 birds with 1 stone? So we'll clean your car while you're getting your nails done. Stuff like that. So present it as if it's a win-win. We're going to work together. And at that point, their defenses are kind of down because you're not just trying to sell them something. It's you're more just presenting a concept and saying, let's work together.
Love it. So next step that all these people are going to want to know. Well, what packages should I use?
Yeah.
Quick ones. Quick ones is what you should use.
Quick ones. Yes.
Quick packages.
100%. So,
I'm not sure what that means. Well, you'll figure it out. It needs to be quick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's where what you've got to do is realize that, okay, so self-serve, someone's coming here, and when they're self-serve cleaning their car, they're not, this isn't like showroom detail we're talking about here. If you think someone's going there and they're just like, tapping the card, because most of them do it by like X amount of minutes or whatever, they're not spending 2 hours there. It's not happening. You know what I mean? I've never seen it done. No. And so you got to think the people going there, that they want to clean their car just so it's presentable. Maybe they're just sick of it.
Or you got to figure out how you can shave time.
Yeah, that's true too.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
the right products, the right process, 100%. Especially if you're going to hire people, that's where the right process and products really come into play, because now you've got this overhead of some other body. So it's like, okay, so if that person is going to cost me X amount per hour regardless, how can I get their time down to as close to 0 as possible? That's the goal. Now, obviously, 0 is impossible, but...
So this is a time that I would definitely say you'll impress people. You got to impress people.
Yeah.
The reason I named the product Impress is for one guy. He always would say, he'd open his door and go, man, I'm impressed. Like, yeah, so that's why I named this product Impress. Like, you can clean, you can re-nourish, and you can put down some protection all in one step.
All in one step.
And it's not a grease. It's not that sheen. You don't get dust attracting to it. It's not like that. It just puts down a nice little darkness as you clean, and it eliminates steps. Like, that's the beauty of it. And you spray it, you scrub, let it dwell in, take your towel, kind of finish it off, and you're done.
You know what?
You've protected the vehicle. You've re-nourished it. The customer's going to open the car and go, wow, you did all that? Like, wow, look at this car. Like,
they're going to be impressed. And the fact that it's going to last longer than if they did it with the self-serve themselves and didn't use that product. You got to think, those lasting results, every time they get in the vehicle now, they're impressed. They're going to want to go back to the self-serve, not for the self-serve. They're going to want to go back to see you. And so I think that's the right move right there. Using the right kind of product. So using Impress, you cut your steps down. That's like, imagine you took an Olympic athlete. Because they have trainers specifically for Olympic athletes. They're trained in those kind of workhorses. And their whole goal is shaving time. Their whole goal is making them perform better.
Performance coaches. Yeah.
And so imagine if every step that a runner took, the coach was able to train them so that every step counted as 3. They were taking 3 steps. Are you kidding me? Like, Jesus, you're going to have the gold medal every single time. And so that to me makes the most sense. People underestimate products, I think, a lot. They think that to get more efficient, there's a new extractor, a new tornador. They're looking for these new machines that are going to magically do something different. But something needs to go in all these machines most times. And the
or they're looking for the cheapest product.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, is that they usually skimp on the product, not realizing that the products are so inexpensive compared to what you're going to be charging per vehicle. Oh, God, saving that time. Like, if you just literally just sit down and do the math and just say, okay, take whatever product you're considering right now. Go to HyperClean's website, go through the product lineup, say, I'm going to try this. Calculate out if you bought enough for however many vehicles you're doing, and then take that number and multiply it by 3. Just multiply it by 3 unanimously. Because that's going to show you that even if you multiply your cost times 3, it's still peanuts per vehicle. And so when you factor that out, and then you say, okay, but now do it with time. And say, okay, if I spend an hour doing
detailing, the greatest expense is always time.
Yes, it 100% is. Because do the same exercise with time, and you'll realize you're like, holy shit, there's not enough hours in the day to clean the kind of cars I want to clean. There just isn't. But if I'm using the right product...
Well, or if you have employees, what's your greatest expense? Is time.
My God, yeah. And the more employees you get, as you scale, those expenses just extrapolate. And then what happens is, it's like the leaky bucket. If you've got, a hole in a bucket and you're filling it with water, but then you grab another bucket to try and salvage the water and it's got a hole in it. If you haven't patched your initial holes, like you just got holes all over the place. And that's what most business owners have, is inefficient processes. And then to solve their money situation or the revenue that they want to make, they hire more people without fixing and honing in on that efficiency in that process in the beginning. So this is really, like he did bring it up. Carl said, what should I do for hiring family, non-family? Honestly.
Oh yeah, great point. Yeah. Don't hire family.
All those points, yeah.
Don't hire family.
Yeah. That's it.
And Carl, it doesn't sound like you're going to know how to do an interview. Doesn't sound like you understand all that. I wouldn't put your time into it. I'd go to a staffing agency.
Yeah.
And then each time that guy doesn't work out, or gal, you can just pick up the phone and tell the staffing agency, hey, send me a different person. This one didn't work out. Like, you go, I got to pay more. Dude, you don't know how to hire people. You're asking how to hire. So don't try and check that off your box right now. This is something you need to pass the buck. You do. You need to let somebody else figure this part out for you.
That can be a very expensive venture if hiring people.
We just talked about wasting time.
Yeah, and also it's not just the time you're going to waste in terms of them not being efficient. If they just don't show up to work, if they show up and they take 8 hours to do one car, or hiring people is an expensive process always. Even if you get stellar human beings, it's still expensive.
And I read into this, Carl, the way there's a local detailer here that built his business on the back of his brothers. And I read into that. I'm going to need employees. Should I try and hire within family to give them opportunities? Carl, you need to pay people. You don't need to give them a path to build a career. Yeah. You've only been in business a couple years. You don't have an opportunity for anybody.
Yeah.
You need to shell out some cash here, my guy. And that's where most detailers don't do. They just won't pay enough. They'll go, well, I can't pay that guy 20 an hour. I don't make 20 bucks an hour.
Well, you will if you hire people and pay them right, and then you hire more people and so on and so forth, and you focus on building the business 100%. But people do need to get paid. If
They
not,
need to get paid.
yeah, if not, they start looking for opportunities. That's what happens. And then you're now having a business where customers are supposed to come in and you have no asses in seats. And so you're like, well, what do I do now? So now you're back to trying to juggle and manage all that when what you should be doing is focusing on how do I market this? How do I build this out? How do I make it more efficient? How do I get the right products, managing inventory, all those kinds of things that you asked about. Half of your post were things that you should be focusing on, and the other half would be something that ideally an employee would focus on. But until you get there, you've got to manage, all roles. Totally understandable. That's where we all start. But I would prioritize hiring someone to be there on most days if possible, but definitely days that you can't be there, so you're staffed all the time, but with the goal of transitioning yourself out. But
And I don't see him Carl, maybe you can, but I don't see you being able to understand a calendar, like an employee weekly.
Because it's a lot.
It's a lot, Carl. It's a lot.
That's what they do. There's full-time jobs. That's all they do.
I've admitted I was not great at this, so that's why that's why I tell people to do it, because that's what I did. I realized I wasn't great at it, and so I depended on people that were great at that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the beauty of it. And then what I ended up doing for a moment was then I figured out, oh, wait, I could staff. So I had a detailerwanted.com.
Ah.
And it was a staffing company for dealerships where I staffed them.
Damn.
And I used my staffing company that I was working with and then milked a little bit to where I was making $1 an hour.
Beautiful.
And one time I had 8 guys on the clock. So every hour I was only making $8, but I wasn't doing a thing and making $8 an hour. It was wonderful.
Amazing. Yeah. Man, that's genius, actually.
Yeah, but I had too much. I mean, that's back when I was doing all kinds of, it was like eventually ideas, they either have to go or they have to go away.
This is true.
I built it for a little bit, but then I lost an account that was like, I think 5 of those guys. And then it was like, it was just like, okay, I either need to go all in or I need to go.
Or pull back and change direction. Yeah. See, that's a crossroad. But
you can use staffing agencies very easily.
100%.
Very easily.
We use them. Oh, yeah, we use them. My goodness. Especially because we don't do the whole Facebook, what do they call it? The job postings, the job market, job board or whatever they call it. We don't use that. We just found we got a lot of time wasted, a lot of not jobs, things like that. But we're not exceptional at that part of the business, but we are very good at choosing a staff agency. So we tried a few, and there were some that it wasn't the right fit on both sides. They were more like tech-based, things like that. But we said, no, we just need like skilled laborers. And then they started sending us like roofers and stuff like that. We said, no roofers. Roofers are the worst, in my opinion, for showing up on time, doing the actual work, not doing cocaine, all those kinds of things. It's just the worst. But so yeah, staffing agencies are great. And to put it this way, to come full circle back to what that truck costs per month, I would say
nicely done.
Thank you. And if you look at it and you say, okay, so I need an employee, they're both workhorses, right? So your truck, sure, it's going to be used for work, and we all justify that, right? Because we want the truck. So we all say, well, it's for work, though. It's for work. But why don't you say the same thing about your staff? And that's why I wouldn't hire my family members in most scenarios, because I've tried it. I even hired one of our neighbors once to work at Auto World, and each time blew up in my face in spectacular fashion. But it's because it's difficult, and because you're hiring for the wrong motivations. You're hiring because it's family and you want to give them an opportunity. But with hiring, you have to realize that you have to hire fast, but you also have to fire fast if you realize someone's toxic for your business. And that becomes very difficult.
Yeah, don't do it with
If you're not good at hiring, you're going to be horrible at firing. I'll tell you that right now. And because especially because if you're not good at hiring, you inevitably are likely going to have to fire because you're not good at hiring. So you probably didn't get the right person from the beginning. And so if you're not good at that part, firing is a problem. But in comparison, staff are expensive for sure, but so is a truck. The difference is the truck, I guarantee you, is going to earn you less per hour than your staff will. 100,000%.
Guaranteed.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
the way you
absolutely.
said that.
That's the off the clock guarantee. That is the guarantee. And yeah, so that's what I hope this is. Not hope. I know this is going to be helpful. This was a lot of.
It will be, but we got to answer this last question. Last question, then we'll hop off.
All right. What do we got?
Says he knows he's got to spend money to make money. What's the most important thing to spend money on, if not equipment or supplies? It's a great question. It's a great question.
That is. For me, in the situation he's in, I wouldn't even factor in staff. Staff are important, but you're still a long way away from that. I would say marketing is your biggest area because you need customers. Without customers, this thing's dead in the water, whether you go with the self-wash or you don't. Without customers of some kind, is dead in the water. And relying just
all right, what
on their
type
customers.
of marketing, right? So you got to spend money to make money.
What do we do? Facebook ads? No. Definitely not. Not in this scenario. I think
I'm not hating that. I'm not hating that, but let's keep playing it out. I think Carl and most people would go, well, that means I got to pull out my phone and they're putting their take on it. I don't think Carl's so great at marketing. So
True.
Carl's probably not, since he doesn't have customers, he hasn't put any time into it, which he admitted. So that means he's not going to be great at taking that photo, of understanding what the right colors and what the right shades. He's not going to understand what to write is the right copy, right? He's not. Now, this is the time that you can use Luna, right? Could, or let's go a different angle instead of Carl doing it, because Carl's now suddenly going, I want to spend money. He's selling his truck. Carl not thinking about it, not about to, like, Carl, that truck needs to be sold. Get off of, as soon as you listen to this, you go to Facebook Marketplace, and that's where you use Facebook Marketplace. You sell your truck. Sell your truck, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Then, if I use that money, because I got to spend money to make money, to hire a videographer instead of Carl trying to take the right stuff, instead of Carl trying to make the videos. Yeah. What if he pays a company to do it? That's where I would say to market. If you're going to use social, after the A-frames, but I would start.
I was going to say, you definitely need the print materials.
Like if you do social, that's the way I would do it, Carl. But I wouldn't start there. You got to start with the Gorilla. You got to start with the A-frame. I wouldn't do handing people's car. I wouldn't hand them cards.
No.
Don't do that. But you got to think of some way of giving, like something. Maybe that's walking them a towel, or some way, right? I've got to while I'm there. I've got to figure out some way I can talk to somebody.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay? So if you got to spend money on, this is the beauty of that the stupid rubber duckies with Jeep. Right? This was something we've talked about. Could you do that, right? Yeah. So Carl, you could get some of those and go pass them out to Jeep people with, something, right? Figure out, this would be the time to buy some trinkets or something people could put on their dash, or want to spend some money to make some money. There are companies, I remember looking into it for a customer. There are people that you can put custom cup holders with your logo or your number or something, and you could even have them to where they have a scent if you're that type of guy. Or you can just put these really cool little custom cup holders, so every time somebody puts their cup down, they see your logo. Maybe just say, next time at the car wash, get a detail, right? Something, be able to give them and that's what they call that comeback or bring back. Something you give them that they bring back.
Exactly.
The boomerang that gets them to come back in.
And I think that's fantastic. That's exactly where to start. And I love the videographer as well, because you're going to need content. There's a good chance as well that the self-serve car wash is going to be doing marketing as well and has an advertising budget, and there will be an opportunity, maybe not day one, but there will be an opportunity to open up those talks and say, what kind of co-marketing can we do where I pay a little, you pay a little?
Well, that's a great idea.
And the biggest thing they're not going to want to do is figure it out for you. So they don't even want to figure it out for themselves. So if you come and say, I've got a line on a videographer, I've got some ideas that I could spitball with you, and then we can refine them in a way that makes sense and is cohesive with your brand and so on and so forth. But definitely there's a co-op opportunity there. And a big one, I think that's huge, that kind of opens that door with them, is using the contest feature within OrbisX, where find out what this guy's top package that he wants to be selling at his self-serve place, and offer that as a chance that his customers can win that, okay, just by entering to win. So, and you could have some steps like, okay, share us on Facebook, whatever the case is, different things. But reality is you can participate in that contest by way of you're giving away a detail and whatever his package is for the top tier thing or whatever, something his customers would want to win. But then they also get to win your detail, so they try it out, which guarantees you at least one customer. And yeah, you're giving it away in that instance, but it's an opportunity to be seen there doing the work. But the biggest thing is everyone that enters to win within OrbisX, you can set up a second chance offer. So anyone that didn't win, they all get an email and a text message that says, sorry you didn't win, but here's 50% off, or here's $10 off, whatever it is, or free tire shine, who knows, whatever you decide to make up as your offer for them, that gets blasted out to every customer that entered to win. So it's a quick way to tap into all of those customers, so you can have that quick communication with them, both initially when you get some cards printed that have like a QR code for the contest or whatever. Every person that comes in, you walk up to them, hey, by the way, there's a contest running with whatever the name of the car wash is. You can win a free detail and a year worth of self-serve use or something. It's a great way to build that database and then be able to message them and promote to them as well.
Perfect. Hey, you'd like to get free car washes for a month? Love to get free car washes for 3 months? Whatever,
Exactly.
This is one this is one tie-in that I did with a local car wash here. If they sold a ceramic coating, or then we did it where I would sell a ceramic coating, and I even tied it in where I would, if I sold a ceramic coating to a customer, I had the ability to then give them X amount of months free car washes. Beautiful. And especially if the self-serve has a touchless, anybody that does ceramic coatings, you love to recommend touchless washes. So it's a great time to go, we've got a ceramic coating, and, I can give you 1 month of free washes, with the ceramic coating purchase.
Beautiful.
You need something, right? It doesn't matter what you do,
Hook,
Yes, some type of hook, and then Uno can be put on outside, Dose can be put on outside, and you've got a 1 to 2 year coating that you can do right out there in the elements, and then whatever hook you want to do, right? Like if you want, like you said, hook them into a free month of washes.
Yeah, 100%. That kind of stuff is genius, and that's what gets people utilizing both services at the same location. Is knowing that, oh, okay, great, you're going to put this on, but I can still use the car wash here?
Because a lot of car washes, are they doing it up in Canada? But they do here where they do like a month club. But they'd only cost, they only have to pay, $20? Some are even cheaper, but let's just call it 20. Okay, if you installed a coating for $200 and you only had to eat $20 of marketing expense.
Perfect. Yeah.
Huh?
Exactly.
I'm in.
Exactly.
Say, hey, and then you just sign them up for the first month free.
Exactly.
Bada bing, bada boom, and they just keep getting it.
Burn through $20 on Facebook ads, targeting some random person that maybe isn't even going to that car wash, versus this person's already frequenting that car wash. It's a no-brainer, really. And because some people, I know they're going to look at that and be like, $20 to get a customer. It's like, yeah. Big time. That's a steal. That's a bargain. A guaranteed customer. We're not talking about possibly warm prospect that I've got to now spend, like 15 text messages later, 3 phone calls, and then the guy ghosts me, and then now I'm bitching about it in a Facebook group. Like, no. We're talking about a genuine customer that's interested, already using one of the services there, is interested in what you're offering, and going to buy your ceramic coating now. And I'll go back to doing the math. The numbers don't lie. I'm big on numbers. Just go run those numbers. Go check out the pricing of the ceramic coating. Add in the $20 for the car wash or whatever the cost is for that month. Put that all together, calculate that out through the year, and go, holy shit, to hit my target number, I actually don't have to do very much. And then you say, okay, so now if I add a staff member in there, I could double that. It's trust me, the numbers are there. It's very, very basic math. Luna can help you out with the math too. No problem. Luna. Damn, lost my royalties. Shit, you got me. But yeah, guys, this is a step in the right direction, and this is one way to fill your funnel. This isn't a crossroads; it's a bridge. You're absolutely right, Marshall. This is everyone should be thinking whatever stage you're at. You could be in the exact same position as Carl, or you could be someone that's a very well established business. 10 years in, doesn't matter. This is the kind of marketing that can benefit you one way or the other.
Carl, thanks for the post. Thanks for being willing to go out there and lay it out and say,
put your neck out, man.
Yeah, really do appreciate it. You have no idea. Like, it really 100%. Is cool that you were willing to do that. So that tells you that he's willing to go talk to somebody at a car, to go do somebody. I mean, if you're willing to go ahead and get your, some Facebook time and some people are going to, then that means, Carl, it means you can go figure out a way to talk to customers. You don't have to have non-customers. You're a guy that can get customers. You can do this, man. I'm looking forward to hearing all the great results.
100%. Me too. And I want to see a picture of that A-frame with the bike lights on it. Yeah, it's a good one, I'm telling you. But awesome, man. Well, Marshall, thanks for your insights, everything too, and your feedback there. This is great, guys. Keep sending those posts. We will talk about it. We will share ideas. We'll help you grow. That's our goal here, our mission, and we will also help you save some time. So check out Impress as well, and you will be impressed. I was trying to think of a more clever pun, but that's all you get today.
That's all you get. I mean, people use it and go, damn, you're right. I'm impressed.
Yeah, damn, you're right. I'm impressed. Yeah, that's don't we all want that? Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, appreciate you, man. We'll see you guys next week. We'll deep dive in on some more fun stuff. All right, talk to you soon. All right.